Hi Virgo, welcome to your September 2019 love reading. It's Rena here. This reading is for both singles and those involved in a relationship, looking at the astrological stuff that's going on for you in terms of your love life. So I'm looking at the 5th house and the 7th house. 5th house is general love, even like the falling in love stage, or sustaining love, or reigniting it if you are coupled already. So your 5th house happens to be fellow earth sign Capricorn. And what is happening in the month of September, there's not a transit per se that is connected to, that I can think of. I don't think Pluto goes direct in September. So what I would say is there's just a lot of heavy hitters in the 5th house. Oh yeah, Saturn goes direct in Capricorn. So that's going to be in your 5th house. Now, when Saturn is transiting your 5th house, I think of single people who are tired of serial dating. The 5th house is not only the house of falling in love, but it's the house of, creativity and children and things like that. It's the house of fun. So when Saturn transits that house, you're not really up for a frivolous good time. You're very serious about it. Saturn is very serious. And so it's also can be restrictive. So you may be saying, no fun for me, no just casual sex, because the 5th house can be recreational sex. No recreational sex for me. I want marriage. And I know that if I just am indiscriminate, I'm not going to get what I want. And what I want right now is this. I want a relationship that's going to lead to marriage, and then I want children and that kind of thing. And I want to take it seriously. And, these transits are not permanent, that's why they are I was going to say transient. They are transits, so they come and go. And, Saturn takes 2.5 years to go through a sign. And it still is in Capricorn, in that 5th house. So I think that things will start to ease up in 2020. But who knows? You may have already found your perfect partner by then. Saturn will remain in that 5th house, I think, until next March. I'm not exactly sure about that. Either March or June or something. But in the and actually Jupiter is joining that 5th house at the end of the year. Pluto is there. The South Node is there. So there's a lot of kind of challenging energy, but challenging meaning it's really getting you to think about taking the idea of love seriously. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're looking for a serious partner. In terms of the 7th house, this would be Pisces. And currently, there's going to be a full moon in that 7th house on September 14th in Pisces, 21 degrees of Pisces. So definitely some activity going. That could be the ending of a relationship that, a committed partnership that probably has already been on the rails. However, it could be like an awareness of your partner's needs that can improve the relationship. It can also make a relationship, turn into a marriage, because you may be dating somebody seriously, and yet you feel like you want to get married. You feel like that is the next logical step. a full moon can bring something to culmination. So just like the fifth house is the dating area, the seventh house is the commitment area. So that's the final step, right? So let's see what the cards say. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Page of Swords. If you're single, you may have just met somebody who is an air sign. For you, Gemini is the one that is a mutable sign. Although it forms a square, it is an attraction nonetheless. Libra and Aquarius, and actually I did get the star card, so maybe it is Aquarius. If it is a relationship, it's at the very early stages. But some of you who are single may be kind of like a little bit on the lookout. Maybe you're like very, I don't want to say suspicious, but you're not just letting things happen naturally. You may be like, I have to check out their background. I got to get a background check right away, because perhaps you were burned in the past. Actually, even if you are currently in a relationship, you may feel the same way. And if we look at the past position, we can see why. The Page of Cups can mean that you feel like you were played for a fool. This is a card that connects with Pisces, by the way, which is your opposite sign. And so we have two pages here. Pages connect with children, but in terms of energy, they can be, you know, like the childlike innocence. Sometimes it can indicate immaturity. And if this is somebody that you're dealing with who happens to be a Page of Swords, they may be an air sign who is immature, who cannot commit, who has, you know, a smart mouth, you know, who tries to keep people at bay with their insults, you know, things like that. Although this card is in the upright position, so I usually don't read the dysfunctional elements unless they're reversed. But in any case, I feel the most likely scenario is that you have had the wool pulled over your eyes. And so you feel like you must be more vigilant. And that's kind of what the Page of Swords is. It's like, I need to check this out. I need to check this person out. So if it's a new person in your life, I'm not going to just take them at their word. You know, maybe being a little bit paranoid sometimes, or being a little bit overly suspicious, but trying to protect yourself from what has happened in the past. If you are committed, you may be doing a little bit of spying or you know, behind the scenes, you know, looking at their social media, seeing if they're talking to somebody. The higher message is the Star card. This is actually a card of hope, restored, healing. So if you have met an Aquarius, they may be a person that is helping you to overcome some of the stuff that you have been dealing with, so that you can have a more a happier future. And also, this card connects to having faith in the unseen. And, uh-oh, my, I have to plug this in or it's going to go out, baby. There we go. I averted disaster. Yeah, the faith in the unseen. If you really want a deep relationship, Virgo, you have to believe that even if you're embroiled in a relationship that feels where it's a horrible feeling, the Page of Swords. It's a horrible feeling if you're in a relationship, especially a longer term relationship, and you don't trust the person that you're under the same roof with. That feels really crappy. So the belief that you can have, your wish come true. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. But you have to make space for that person to come in. If you're involved with somebody right now, it makes it that much harder. The card that crosses you is the Ace of Cups. And this is that new love. And it's being blocked because maybe you are in a relationship that you need to leave because you know that that person is deceiving you. Maybe it's happened before. Maybe they've promised that they're going to change, and yet you just keep seeing the same old sketchy behavior. If you're single, this Page of Swords may be you anticipating that somebody is going to cheat on you, and that blocks new love from coming in. So either way, that kind of being on high alert. By the way, I do think it is important to be, savvy about the fact that sometimes people are not truthful. I don't think it's wise to just believe people because they say something. But you can't take it to the extreme, you know what I'm saying? So, in any case, what's coming in is the Knight of Cups. This is kind of like the knight in shining armor. This person may be a water sign. And, being a Virgo, your opposite sign is Pisces, a water sign. But the other water signs are Scorpio and Cancer. And this person's very sensitive and they may be very artistic. If you enjoy going to an open mic, they might be a singer-songwriter, and that's how you come across them. But in any case, it's almost like an offer. It's almost like somebody presenting something to you. And that feels good because you don't feel like you have to chase somebody down, that they are interested in you. It's funny, right when I started saying this, some fireworks started going off. So maybe it's the fireworks of your romantic life. Now, this is great if you're single, but what about if you're involved in a current relationship? And I remember I was talking about the star card and I was talking about the sign of Aquarius. Well, maybe that was a timing issue with Aquarius too, because we did have a full moon in Aquarius. I'm recording this in August, and we just had one, and that would be your 12th house. So there may be something connected to a karmic relationship that is, I'm sorry, Virgo, that's not your 12th house. Actually, Aquarius is your 6th house, isn't it? Or is it? No. Aquarius is not your 6th house. It is your 6th house. So, in terms of timing, there's nothing coming out. Oh, in the workplace? Maybe? I don't know. Because that was where the full moon was, in the 6th house of work. So unless somebody declared their love for you, that was in the workplace. But in any case, the star card is about healing. And so if somebody comes into your life, and let's say you are still in a marriage, or, you know, an equivalent type of relationship, and you feel trapped. This person, I'm not saying that you would have a romantic relationship with them, because maybe that's not really a great way to go about it. I mean, it's better to deal with your problems on their own before you get embroiled in a new relationship. That's not going to make things easier. But perhaps the upshot is that you can live a life where you feel a sense of resonance with a person. You know, the Knight of Cups, this person may get you. They may really understand what makes you tick, Virgo. And this makes you feel like you are heard, like you are cherished. The outcome is the Seven of Swords. Now, this to me is probably, if you are in a relationship, what you are dealing with, where somebody is sneaking around behind your back. Or if you are single, you may have dealt with that in a past relationship. But as the outcome card, I think this is you. I think that you're going to, if you're, and I think this is especially if you are someone who is currently in like a committed relationship, you may kind of like be strategizing. How do I get out of this with the least amount of drama? How can I extricate myself from this? Or it could be even that you are finally seeing that person. Again, we have a full moon in your 7th house in Pisces. So maybe this is like going to be the big reveal. This is going to show that person for who they are. And then you will have the moral high ground to leave. And again, you make space for somebody who has more of a emotional commitment in mind, but also that those feelings, which are so important. The person you may be with may not be really a romantic person. They may be like intellectual, but not necessarily emotional. Not to say that you are the most romantic or emotional person, Virgo, but because your opposite sign is a water sign that is very emotional, that might be kind of like that counterpart that you're looking for, and that you need to feel that sense of balance. So, in any case, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that you got something from this. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.